and welcome back. So today we are going to talk about being overweight and working out. Now, I know if you just clicked on this, and I don't know, maybe some of you guys are overweight and you like to work out, but let me just tell you, as somebody who has come from an overweight background, actually being morbidly obese, 288 pounds, I was somebody who was overweight and didn't like to work out. In fact, I believed that God made those workouty people that were like, come on, girl. Like, he made those people and they like to work out, and then he made me. Like, I was just not one of those, like, I don't know. I was 288 pounds. When I jumped, everything jiggled, everything shook. And so I avoided physical fitness for a very long time. And I just believed that I didn't like it. I believed I didn't want to do it. I didn't like it. I stayed as far away from it as I could, was the truth of the matter. And it wasn't until I really got desperate to lose the weight. Popped out baby number 2 of the 3, and I read a statistic that just shook me to the core, and it linked obesity in parents to their kids. And in that moment, I made a decision, and it wasn't about, like, see, weight loss up until that point had been about convenience, what I liked to do, what was easy. You know, I was always looking for the diet or the fad that I enjoyed or that was for me. And at that point, it was like, you know what? Enough is enough. Like, no. The line was drawn in the sand, and I needed to do something. I had these 2 little babies, and I just started thinking, okay, where have I seen the best before and afters? When I look at the people on the planet that are the healthiest, in my opinion, the hottest, like have the best bodies as they age, like, who are those people? What do they all have in common? And I had watched a ton of transformation videos on YouTube prior to this. I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of all different weight loss products, all different whatevers. And the ones that really, the before and afters, the videos, the transformations, all those, the ones, even the celebrity interviews, there was one thing that all the ones that were just like, dang, dude, like, you know, the before and afters you see and you're like, no, gotta be Photoshopped. No way, that's the same person. The celebrities like Jennifer Lopez, where you're just like, man, what bottle is she drinking out of? What elixir is she drinking? Because I want some. Like, give me that. All right. They all had one thing in common. And it was the one thing that I tried to run from for so long. And it was fitness. Like, all of them were like, yeah, I just work out 30 minutes a day, 60 minutes a day. And of course, it's not just but the point was they all had this thing in common. I work out 30 to 60 minutes a day. And I was just like, but I was so starting most of the time on YouTube, most of the time on any social media platform. A lot of your fitness experts, a lot of your people that are making videos, unfortunately, they're already at their goal. Even if they did have a weight problem, they typically don't now. Does that make sense? And it was so hard for me to relate to somebody who was sitting there talking at a size 2, 4, 6, or 8, because I was a size 22. I was almost 300 pounds. I was morbidly obese. So when someone was sitting there going, oh, you're just one workout away from a good mood, I'm like, of course you're saying that. You don't, and everything doesn't jiggle when you jump. You can do a push-up. You can do a sit-up. I can't even, like, it was, you know, because when you try to do anything and you're overweight, like, the fluff from everywhere gets in the way. And so I just wanted to address really quickly, because I do get a lot of questions from people that are obese or morbidly obese that are considering working out, and they have the same concerns that I had. Looking silly, can I do it? I know that I can't do it, so what do I do? So here's what I'm going to tell you. I started at 288 pounds, morbidly obese. I was a breastfeeding mother. We had a toddler and a infant that was just a couple months old. And so I've always been well endowed in the breast area. So imagine, I've already got big boobs. Now I'm breastfeeding. The big boobs are now gigantic and they're heavy, like big old milk jugs. I had to wear 2 sports bras just to strap them in so they wouldn't, you know, not amazing. I would pump right before I would work out. So I just want to paint the picture of where I'm starting. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. And I started with at-home workouts. And the reason why with 2 small kids was a big reason, but also I was really self-conscious about going to the gym. I didn't want, people to laugh at me. I knew I was going to look funny. I knew everything was going to jiggle and shake and wave and all those things. But in the basement of my home or the living room of my home or the bedroom of my home all by myself, nobody could laugh at me. I could look as silly as I wanted and nobody was going to laugh at me. And so I started with some at-home fitness. I started with where you could just press play and the trainers would tell me what to do. Like they had gotten results, they had before and afters. These were world-renowned trainers that like I could never personally get a one-on-one training session with them, either availability or it would cost too much money that I didn't have. But to pay for a subscription service where I would get access to all these workouts at a very cheap price, like I was like, okay, I can do this. Like I can do this. And that's what I did. I didn't try. I had been the person who had before tried to go online and just look for the free workouts. I was past the free point. I'm like, I don't care. I'll put some skin in the game. I'll pay a subscription. As long as I can do these workouts, that's fine. Like I was willing to put some skin in the game at that point. Like I was so desperate to get results. Yeah. And I also knew from business that putting some money up would help my commitment level, and I needed all the help that I could get. But here's the deal. If you are overweight and you are starting, if you're contemplating fitness, if you're contemplating working out, it's one of the best decisions I ever made. But here's what I'm going to tell you in the beginning. This is what I tell all of my clients. When you start working out, the one thing that we want to do when we're overweight is we want to remind ourselves of where we're not. We like to say things to ourselves like, how could you let yourself get this far out? How could you let yourself go? How could you let yourself get this out of shape? How could you let yourself get to this point? And those were things that I had said to myself hundreds, I don't know, maybe thousands of times up to that point in my life. And I finally just had, you can't even do a jumping jack. You can't even do a sit-up. You can't even do a push-up. But comparing myself to everybody else who wasn't where I was, wasn't going to get me to where I wanted to go. And so I had to start where I was. It didn't mean I had to stay where I was, but that's where I had to start. And in the very beginning, it was if the person on the video did a push-up, it was me going to my knees doing a push-up. If I couldn't do that, it was going against the wall and doing a push-up. The first workout I did, it was a 60-minute workout. I think I made it 17 minutes in. I laid on the ground and watched the rest because I felt like my heart was going to beat out of my chest. Beating myself up, rehearsing all those things that I just told you don't do. I did all of them. I started working out 6 days a week. I committed to working out 6 days a week, taking 1 day of rest every single week. I had 2 kids. We had several businesses. It wasn't that I had the time. It was making the time for me. That I was worth those 30 to 60 minutes a day. Listen, 30 minutes of your day, that's really all you need. 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how intense the workout is. 30 to 60 minutes. 30 minutes is 2% of your day. 60 minutes is 4% of your day. We can all make that commitment, is the truth. But when you're just starting, if you're out of shape, if you're overweight, just start. Even a bad workout is better than no workout. Even the workout where you look at the trainer on TV or the people with the trainer doing the workout, someday where you're at now will be your warm-up. You've just got to keep going. Modification. A lot of my clients that I coach with, they'll be like, well, Carmen, I couldn't even keep up with the person on TV. Of course you couldn't. If you ever do a workout and you can do it better or the same as the person teaching it, you need to find a new workout. Why? Because if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. It's supposed to be hard. There's supposed to be moves you can't do. There's supposed to be moves that you have to work at, that it gives you room to grow. It gives you something to shoot for. That's normal. That's how fitness is designed, that you're going to get better as you go. It doesn't mean you suck because you aren't keeping up with the person who is a fitness freaking professional. What they do for a living. Of course you're not keeping up with them. Are you a fitness professional? Is that what you do for a living? No. Chances are you're just getting started. Chances are you're out of shape. Chances are, yeah, you didn't do it yesterday or you're not used to doing it. Give yourself some freaking grace. And you don't have to like where you're at. You just have to accept that it's where you're at, but it's not where you're going to stay. Modify. You know, if you've got a bad knee, if you've got a bad hip, if you've got a bad arm, that's okay. If you can't do squats, don't do squats. March. I don't care if you stood there and you marched in place for half the workout. I have a girlfriend who's been doing fitness and she's been struggling with back issues. And it was finally to the point she kept wanting to jump. And she would start jumping and she's got like back issues that are like, you can't jump. Like, here's the issue you have and you just can't jump. It's just part of your life. You can't do it. And so she would try to jump and she would injure herself and then she'd be out. And then she would try to jump and she would injure herself and she'd be out. And we were talking one day and it was just like, listen, just because you can't jump doesn't mean you can't get a good workout in. You've just got to come to the point where you're like, hey, jumping, I can't do it. It's off the table. So maybe I'll just squat. Maybe I'll raise up on my toes. Just because I can't jump. Here she was thinking because she couldn't jump, she couldn't get a good workout in. No. You can still get a killer workout. You can still get ripped. Listen, I lost 100 pounds in my first 202 days, completely modifying every move in the workout. I lost 161 pounds in 13 months, completely modifying the workouts. Not keeping up with the professional on TV, not being able to do man push-ups, having to go to my knees, not lifting like super duper heavy, like rah. You can get to your goal by modifying. And by modifying, you're actually going to not only help protect your body from injury, just accept there's some things you can't do. You're not He-Man, you're not She-Ra, you're not, we have limitations, whatever those may be. And even today, look, I've been working out since 2014, 6 days a week. And even now, sometimes I go to do a move and I'm like, yep, nope, not strong enough, not flexible enough, whatever it is. But am I in pretty good shape? Yes. Am I pretty fit? Yes. But do I still have some limitations? Are there still some challenges? Do I still have things that challenge me and that I struggle with? Yes. Does that mean I suck? No. Does it mean I'm human? Yes. Does it mean I'm a work in progress? Yes. One of the best decisions I ever made was to start working out. I'm so glad. I let my weight limit me in so many areas. And for so long, because I was overweight, I couldn't work out, or I didn't want to work out, or I shouldn't work out. I let my weight, that limiting belief, limit me to what I did. I'm going to encourage you that if you're watching this video and you're overweight, start working out. You actually might find that you will enjoy it at some point. And before I end, that's the last thing I want to talk about. Listen, I used to always hear people say, you're one workout away from a good mood. If you do it long enough, you'll learn to love it. I believed that was good for them, but not for me. And I worked out for a year, and I hated it. I loathed it. I didn't look forward to it. The only time I was glad to work out was when it was done. Just being honest. Like, I did it because I committed to it, not because I wanted to. I did it because I said I would, not because I was like, yeah, baby, let's work out. Whoop, whoop. No, not at all. Something happened between that 12th and 13th month. After a year of working out 6 days a week, loathing it, dreading it, thinking all kinds of nasty thoughts about my trainer, cussing at my trainer on TV. And I'm not a big cusser, but cussing, calling them all kinds of, blankety blank 4-letter word names. But something happened between the 12th and 13th month. It's like a light flip switched. And I went from dreading it and loathing it to like looking forward to it, to missing it when I didn't do it, to like, I don't know, it was the weirdest thing ever. And, you know, but it took me a year. It took me a year of working out to get to that point. One whole year of working out before I got there. And so eventually, if you keep doing it, it'll become a part of your routine. It'll become a part of you. I can't tell you if that's going to be 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 1 year, 18 months, or 2 years. Everybody's a little bit different. It took me a year. I have clients that it only takes 3 months, 6 months, 9 months before they hit it. And then I have other clients where it took them a couple years. But you won't always hate it. You won't always dread it. You won't always loathe it. You won't always count down. Well, it depends on the workout. I don't know, leg day. I love leg day, but I'm so glad when leg day is done. Intense cardio days, I'm so glad when they're done. I still do count down to when it's done. But anyway, so glad I did it. I never regretted a workout that I did. The only workouts I regret are the ones I didn't do. Modify the crap out of them, but just get started. Don't expect yourself to keep up. Expect yourself to have to modify every move. And when you expect yourself to have to modify every move, and then there's moves you don't, you'll be like, huh, look at that, I just did a girl push-up. I never do it against the wall anymore. Look at, I just did a full jumping jack and I jumped. Look at, I just did whatever. But when you expect yourself to be perfect and you're not, now you're let down. Versus when you expect yourself to have to modify everything, and then you can actually do a couple of the moves, you're like, huh, look at me go. So anyway, awesome. Well, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, make sure to do that. Ring the notification bell, and make sure to check out some of our other videos. I did a video a little while back where we were actually, a lot of times when I talk about weight loss and working out, one of the most inevitable questions I get, well, what about macros, Carmen? Should I count my macros? Should I calorie count? What should I do? I will link down below. I actually did a video where I talk about counting your macros versus calorie counting, and which one is better for weight loss, and does it affect your weight loss? Is it a big deal? Do you have to do one or the other? If you're like, macro, what's a macro? Eventually, when you start working out, you will learn what macro is. I never knew what a macro was until I started getting into this fitness world. But anyway, I will link that video below in the description box. Make sure to check it out, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.